Hi Vamshi, you are attempting your ACB 5. After completing the first manual, competent communicator, you are attempting your advanced communicator, and in this you have chosen the track, the entertaining speaker, and of which you are giving your project 5 of this. The objectives for you for this speech is that speaking after dinner. That's a theme, and the objectives are prepare an entertaining after dinner talk on a specific theme. Deliver the talk using the skill developed in your previous projects. And your time limit is 8 to 10 minutes. Timer, please make a note, 8 to 10 minutes. 8, 9, 10. Okay? And all the best for your speech, Vamshi.
Thank you.
Vamshi, now listen. Now listen, Vamshi.
Toastmasters today, I'm ready for your Toastmasters. A very good evening to all. Now listen. Obviously, what you will do. Now, whatever crap I speak, you cannot go outside, right? So definitely, as Sergeant Comes rightly said, when the speaker is on the dais, you cannot go outside or you cannot come inside. You have to listen. Okay, so I was wondering, what to speak at this point of time, in this late hour. So how many of you heard my evaluator reading the objectives properly? So what did he say? I've talked something?
After dinner.
After dinner. So I was wondering, what to speak after dinner, as already people started digesting food, what they can digest more when we speak. So I was wondering, I was thinking a lot. So then I found this thing. How many of you, okay, before going to that, let me ask you this question. What you used to do when you were kids, after having dinner and before you go to sleep? Now don't tell me Chakravaka and Mughal Ragul, okay?
Bedtime story.
Wow, good Pragna. So I thought to give another clue, but Pragna already cracked the clue. So I thought to tell the importance of storytelling. Now of course, I got this idea when I was watching Ega movie recently, when the titles are going on, right, what will happen when the titles are going on. No, Rajamouli's daughter keep on, Rajamouli tell one story, so I thought, okay, I think bedtime, after dinner, probably storytelling is one of the important things maybe we need to cultivate. So what do you think really storytelling is very important for us? So storytelling has its own number of advantages. Now when you are a wonderful storyteller, you become in such a way that people will not really differentiate whether you are telling stories or you are telling truth. So I remember this very instance. Recently when I Sandeep and few of my friends went to Ooty, we stayed in one beautiful villa. It was in some hilly terrains and it was isolated. And there was one unique thing in the villa, that there were no curtains. None of the classes were having curtains. So people were wondering in our villa why there were no curtains. And this was a topic of discussion in midnight. Why? So I told them, no, okay, you don't know this. No, I talked to owner today morning and I asked him why there were no curtains and everything is visible from outside and inside. Then I told them that, in the past they used to have these curtains, and unfortunately whenever they put curtains, by morning, in the overnight, somehow they used to disappear. People started looking at me and I started laughing then they gave me left and right. Now this is the beauty of your narration. When you tell a story also, we really do not differentiate whether it's a story or whether it's a truth. One of my good friends, Raviteja, is a wonderful storyteller, we never cannot differentiate whether he's speaking truth or telling stories for us. He earned a lot of fans with this technique. And also, of course, one of the prominent advantages, right? Parents generally, they tell stories to make sure that the children feel they sleep very quickly so that they'll have some private time. So with their spouse and all. So jokes apart. So how to do this storytelling? Do you read the story? There is something different, right? Narrating a story and reading a story. Now, how many of us have this habit of listening to stories to our grandmother or grandfather? Now, you remember how they used to narrate the stories? They used to, once upon a time, there was a king had 7 sons, they went to hunt to bring some fish. Is it the way? No, right? They used to neatly say, once upon a time, there was a king had 7 sons. Now, they went out one day to bring fish. This is how, right? They used to neatly narrate our stories to grab our interest. But of course, don't tell the same stories to these generation kids. They will ask you on face, what crap are you speaking? How come the sons of king go to bring fish? What are the servants doing? So don't tell these kind of stories. Tell some improvised stories for the generation kids. So basically, when you want to narrate some stories, make sure that you have the proper expressions on your face and make sure that you are getting into the characters in the particular story. Right? Then only the storytelling will be very interesting to listen. So in short, make sure you have your CC5 and CC6 when you are writing a story. Okay. Apart from the advantages with the storytelling, maybe bluffing or maybe making kids to sleep quickly, what are the real advantages we have? We keep on listening to the stories from our epics, right? Maybe Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Holy Bible. There were a lot of wonderful stories. So do you think we have something to take away from the stories? Both, good and bad, right? I mean, it's not that we have to practice the bad. Maybe we can take Rama as a character where he stood on his words, or maybe Karna, who stood on his word. He used to donate generously. Moral values. Now, don't you think we learn moral values from the stories? What we keep on listening, and probably our generation kids also need to take these values from the stories. And also make sure that there are some practices which all should be avoided. Maybe from the stories again, the other side of the coin, Ravana, Duryodhana and Kauravas. How they had their fate because of their evil practices. So when you tell them theoretically, do they understand? No, right? But when we tell these stories, they make sure that all these moral values and what to do and what not to do, they reach properly, right? So, moral values. So, advantages of storytelling, probably we can learn moral values and ethics from stories. And also, from the past stories, when you tell, we make sure that we convey our culture and tradition. All our stories, past stories, don't they reflect our culture and tradition, how Indians used to be, how all different people used to be. So we also make sure that we tell them that how great our culture is and how our traditions are respected in the past. So forget about moral values, culture and tradition. So do you have anything extra to take away from this storytelling? Maybe our kids or someone who is listening to stories. For example, we listen to a lot of stories, right? At times we get clicked, okay, why this character in this story, he did in this way. He got stuck because of doing this. Probably he could have done in this way. So our mind starts interpreting and probably our mind starts fetching some more ideas. You get my point, right? So why he has to do that? He could have done it in a better way. So when our mind starts thinking, so probably we can inculcate this habit, creativity. Creative thinking starts coming into picture for our kids as well when they listen to this kind of stories. And what else? Have you ever heard that listening is one of the communication techniques? So if you want to communicate properly to the other person, you have to listen very carefully what the other person is telling. And great leaders are very good listeners. So you need to listen, right, before you respond what exactly that person is talking about. So my friends, so when you inculcate this habit of storytelling at your homes, when you talk a lot of stories to your kids, so they eventually grow their listening skills as well. And of course, there is something called as memory power. When we were kids, we used to have storytelling hour after lunch hour. Obviously, it will not be after dinner because none of the kids will be in school. That's a different story. So after lunch hour, we used to have this storytelling. And after every storytelling, after every story, they used to ask questions. Then we used to be proactive. I answered 3 questions today. I answered 4 questions today. So by which, this memory power also gets boosted, right? We quickly recollect all the things which happens in story. There are different characters, different things happening. When they ask questions, we tend to listen to them. And another important is problem solving. be different stories where the protagonist might be in some different problems. Probably we might not got some solution, but he might have got some solution. By which we start growing our analytical thinking, right? Problem solving techniques. So friends, these are all really important things which we get from storytelling. Now, so let's make sure your kids also, whoever is married, so make sure you inculcate the storytelling. And how many of us know this person called Vishnu Sharma? Did you ever hear the name Vishnu Sharma or Panchatantra? Panchatantra. What is Panchatantra? Panchatantra are all stories. You know, this famous story when we were kids, a king who had 6 sons. They were really stupid and they were not really up to the mark to become next kings. He was worrying a lot. He was trying all means to make them educated and brilliant. None of them worked. And finally, one man came up with this idea and made them intelligent and heroic in 6 months by this art of storytelling. So friends, let's inculcate the storytelling and tell your friends whenever you are telling stories. Now listen.